when it comes to hacking, the mainstream media has been very, very obsessed with saying that Russia hacked, and it took them 2 years to really explain it. That's why I don't really trust it, to be honest. I know people can say this, but I've watched their rollout of information over the past 3 years about how Russia hacked, and it's been very, very spotty at best. First, they had some retracted articles. The Washington Post put out an article how Russia tried to hack Vermont's utility grid. That ended up being somewhat of a fake news article. They had to retract it. It was covered multiple times. Then they said that they hacked Facebook, and I looked at all the information, and being in digital marketing for 8, 9, 10 years, it's hard to lie to me about, social media strategy and reach and all these things, terminology that I've worked in big corporations for. So, they said Russia hacked the election, and I looked at all the information. Russia barely did anything. I had little to no input whatsoever. They weren't even effective. They wasted a lot of money to get not that many results, and their ads were just not even, one-sided or the other. They did rallies that even Michael Moore attended, anti-Trump rallies, so it was all over the place. It didn't affect it. Anyway, the rollout, and then last week Rosenstein said, it was a phishing email. He clicked on a link, and they've had malware. Just to be honest, as somebody that's into the internet, nothing that they've said during the Russia hack situation really has made much sense or really hit home. I don't see that much evidence there, to be honest. And to people who say you shouldn't question them, you can't question the intelligence communities, there's actually a team of intelligence professionals, ex-CIA, NSA members for Sanity, who did their own investigative report and found that they didn't agree with it as well, and they used to work for those organizations. So just to be honest, like they used to say on the commercials, I need to see the Carfax. I need to see more information, because it's been 2.5 years and the Russia hack information just doesn't seem that, it doesn't seem very bombshell where I'm blown away, especially because I know how much China hacks the United States, and I've barely seen any sort of press about it whatsoever. I mean, I've seen the press in the mainstream media, but I haven't seen the outrage, the outcry, and like the huge push, social media push behind it to make sure everybody screams about it. I'm gonna start with a Washington Post article from June 8th, 2018. So this was this year. You would think this would have been a big outcry. This is the Washington Post. So, it's mainstream media. Facebook's watching this saying, we need to censor Anomaly because this is Washington Post. These are your buddies. These are the people, you dole out millions of dollars to, CNN, Washington Post, and all them. Well, June 8th from Washington Post, this is the headline. China hacked a Navy contractor and secured a trove of highly sensitive data on submarine warfare. So, I mean, when Russia did their Facebook ads, which was just a Russian company, I don't even know if they were really linked to the Kremlin or not, they were running ads on Facebook. And the media tried to say that was an act of warfare. They said phishing emails were an act of warfare. But how is China hacking a Navy contractor and securing a trove of highly sensitive data on submarine warfare not an act of warfare? I'm just curious. That's the whole thing with the media. When you put your emotions away and you just weigh, like, here's what they're telling you and here's all the other stuff, it almost never adds up. So it's like, how is that not warfare? To, bolster on that, this is not new information, even though that came out in 2018. This is a 2016 article from CNBC. They said, Chinese theft of sensitive U.S. military technology is still a huge problem, says a defense analyst, And they also said in that article that the reason that China's military is closing in on the the technological advancements of the United States is because they keep stealing our designs. So in this article, they admitted in 2016 that the Chinese military is literally almost on par with the U.S. military as far as technology, and the reason is because they keep hacking the United States and stealing our military technology. So how is Russia in active warfare for running Facebook ads and sending a phishing email that we've still seen no evidence for, to be honest? They keep saying it, and Rosenstein said it, but they say a lot of stuff in these publications that gets retracted, and it's an anonymous source, and how dare you disagree with us? You're not allowed to disagree with the intelligence communities. Well, then why do we even have a president of the United States? If they're never wrong, why don't they just run the United States? Oh, wait, that's what people have been accusing them of doing. That's why they call it the deep state, and even the mainstream media is embracing that title. So they're kind of almost proving themselves right. They're like, we're not the deep state. There's no such thing as a deep state, but we are always right, and if you don't agree with us and the president doesn't do what we say, he needs to be impeached immediately. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy, huge lack of self-awareness. I don't understand how they don't realize that they're kind of, proving everyone else right. But this is another article to top on those two that I told you about China, as Trump would say, China hacking the United States. This is from CNN in 2016, straight out of CNN. China hacked the FDIC and U.S. officials covered up for it, reports say. So not only did China hack the FDIC in 2016, but according to CNN's report, U.S. officials covered up for China hacking. So I'm just curious, do we really care about foreign countries hacking? Do we really care about foreign warfare? Because if a unrelated hack is warfare, then how is hacking our military, our all of our personnel, and stealing our designs for military weapons grade stuff? I don't understand how that's not an act of warfare. But here's the thing, I don't think the mainstream media is really concerned with telling you about who's really hacking us and who's taking over our media, because when it comes to hacks, there's no competition. China hacks us the most. China hacks us the most effectively, and we have all the proof that China keeps hacking and hacking and hacking and stealing our military stuff, but the media doesn't care, politicians don't care, the intelligence communities don't seem to care enough to make a big deal about it. Trump doesn't even care, to be honest. He never talks about it. He talks about, all this stuff, but you never hear Trump talk about it. So, I'm starting to think, are we communist China? Are we being run by them? Do we not care for some reason? Or I'm trying to figure it out just as a consumer, just as an analyst. Why doesn't China ever get called out for all of these hacking reports? 2016, 2017, 2018, CNN, NBC, and Washington Post, 3 mainstream sources admitting to you that China's hacking. But we don't seem to care about it. And it's not just hacking. China's also literally taking over, large parts, excuse me, sorry, this light is so bright, it's kind of throwing me off. I don't know. We'll see how the video looks after it. If it doesn't translate, then maybe I won't shine it so bright in my face. But China's also taking over large portions of our media and entertainment industry. So Russia barely even interacts with our entertainment industry. They have RT, Russia Television, which got banned off Twitter. I guess that's like the only publication they have. And they're not even hiding Russia. They're just saying, we are literally RT. It's in the name. But this is a 2016 article from Business Insider. 2016 Business Insider. China's multi-billion-dollar Hollywood takeover goes deeper than you think. And what is Business Insider, mainstream, credible publication according to Facebook, who doles out, and YouTube, tens of millions of dollars to mainstream media because apparently censoring other people and kicking people off for hate speech and giving them, filtered algorithms where their videos come up first anyway, and they get millions of dollars to be on Facebook Watch, so they got all these viewers and stuff. Apparently, literally rigging the whole website in mainstream media's favor is not enough, so they got to dole out tens of millions of dollars to them. But anyway, what I'm talking about is Business Insider 2016. China's multi-billion-dollar Hollywood takeover goes deeper than you think. What are they talking about? Well, there's an organization called Wanda, which is a big Chinese media agency or organization that continues to buy up large parts of Hollywood. AMC, of course you've heard of, a big movie mogul, is controlled by billionaire Wang Jinlin, who owns Wanda Productions, or Wanda, whatever their name is. He bought AMC, and AMC, and this is from 2016, was waiting to buy Carmike Cinemas for $1.2 billion. So between AMC and Carmike Cinemas, this would mean that Chinese company owned by Wang Jinlin, Chinese billionaire, control over 8,830 movie screens. So that's just in the United States alone. This is a Chinese company owning 8,830 movie screens. You want to talk about foreign propaganda or foreign influence in media? How much easier could it get for a communist country such as China, which I do want to remind you, this year, March, I believe, of 2018, the whole mainstream media reported that China was, starting to filter their media, and it's like a whole communist takeover in China. They're kicking out term limits, so the president is basically now a king, a dictator. He's never going to leave. They're filtering the media, and to add up to that, they're also buying over large parts of United States media. They own AMC, they're buying Carmike Cinemas, controlling over 8,830 movie screens in the United States, and they were poised to buy 2,236 more in the UK and Europe alone. So that's over 10,000 movie screens owned by a billionaire Chinese people, that I'm sure have connections to the Chinese government. I don't want to go full Rachel Maddow and draw a whole list, but you get the gist. I don't need to do this. We're going to move on because Wang's company, Wanda, doesn't just stop there. You think that's enough? Wow, they own almost 10,000 screens across Europe and United States. Well, they also bought Legendary Pictures. And Legendary Pictures is one of the biggest movie companies in the United States. I'm sure there's bigger as far as conglomerates like Disney, Viacom, and such. But when it comes to movies, it's hard to think of a bigger production company than Legendary. They made The Hangover. They made 300. They made Batman. They made Superman. They made the new Jurassic Park movie. I mean, they have dozens. Some of the biggest blockbusters in the United States come out of Legendary Pictures. They're a huge movie company. They're now owned by Wanda as well. They also bought up Dick Clark Productions. Dick Clark Productions does a lot of stuff, I believe, including the New Year's Eve balls drop. I know Dick Clark was a big part of that. I'm not sure if that's Dick Clark Productions, but the United States doesn't even own our own New Year's show anymore, and they do a lot more than just that. So also in that year, they tried to buy 49% of Viacom, but luckily that deal didn't go through. Wow, this is a Chinese billionaire trying to buy 49% of Viacom. That didn't go through. And this is from 2018. This is from like 3 or 4 days ago, The Hollywood Reporter. Why Hollywood film talent is flocking to China. So this is just this year. Not only are Chinese billionaires buying up large portions of Hollywood movie companies and production companies and all sorts of influencing our media in major ways, now our film stars from the United States are going over to China. And this article talks about how it was always a Chinese actor's dream to make it in the United States, but it's actually flipping because communist China is becoming so rich and powerful that they have so much money. American stars are now doing Chinese films. And what's even crazier is China's box office is expected to surpass North America's box office in 2020. So the Chinese film industry is getting so big in China that it's set to take over the United States by 2020. So they're literally not only infiltrating our movie production companies, but they're also literally taking over Hollywood with their own media, which is now communist run, I believe. I mean, the communist dictator is set in stone and he's gonna have no term limits, and he's taking control of the media. He's taking control of, all that, and he's taking control of the United States. So any rational person, the point that I'm trying to get is not to hate on China. I don't care if you're a Chinese billionaire or trillionaire or you're broke, watching my live stream with no money and you're Chinese. God bless you. I don't have a xenophobic or racist bone in my body. That's not the point I'm trying to make here. But I'm trying to get through to people, and it should be blatantly obvious to even, I don't like to use the word haters, but people who tend to feel negative ways about me because I guess they close their ears and just scream whatever the TV tells them to think. Doesn't this make a light bulb pop in your head like, wow, what Anomaly just showed me, which comes from CNN, Business Insider, New York Times, Washington Post, Hollywood Reporter, all sorts of mainstream news, credible sources according to the media, they're admitting to you that China hacks the United States 10 times more and more effectively, more efficiently, and goes directly towards our military more than Russia does, but you never hear about Chinese hacks. And China is also taking over our media. I mean, imagine if Russian billionaires were buying up Hollywood companies, were buying up production studios that make 300 and Batman and Superman and Jurassic Park and basically every blockbuster you go to see. It's owned by China now. So, I mean, it's very, very easy to control the minds of the masses when you own, if I owned Hollywood and I own the movie industry and I own the TV, it's not hard to control people's minds. And education you could throw in there, the universities and the elementary schools. You are literally crafting people's minds. I mean, it's quite simple. You write the history books and then people believe what you write in there. You open the phone, and every time I open my phone, there's like 4 or 5 articles on my iPhone, and they're all just straight propaganda. They're all totally anti-Trump. They're totally skewed and biased and irrational and don't really show all sides of the picture. But it's on the phone, it's on the television, you know, you turn anywhere, and they control the media. So the media has been controlled, and it's also been, you know, a target of foreign governments such as Russia, China, I'm sure many more. You have Saudi billionaires that are buying up our tech companies and media companies as well. You have Al Jazeera, which is state-funded by Qatar. You have BBC, which is, you know, state-owned by, you know, the UK. You have RT, that's Russia Television. You have, you know, many organizations that are, you know, trying to get their piece in, but none is on a bigger scale, I don't believe, than China, because not only do they have their news sources, but they're actually buying American news sources. So you read, like you read the Washington Post, like you're not reading just some guy who's really concerned about America. Oh man, democracy dies in darkness. Washington Post must really love me and care about me. I mean, you could say that maybe if you believe that, but you know, Washington Post is owned by Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos is the richest guy in the world now. He had a, I believe, $500-600 million cloud contract with the CIA around the same time he bought the Washington Post for $200-300 million. So when you say deep state and people use these terms that they say are broad and not true or whatever, you have to understand a lot of these news organizations that we buy, they're all owned by somebody. Someone has some sort of agenda, whether it be Jeff Bezos, whether it be China, whether it be Russia, whether it be Democrats, whether it be Republicans. Everybody has somewhat of an agenda, and there's very few people out there that are really concerned with just getting you the truth. Like for me, I take hits if it goes against what I believe, or it might go against the audience. I'm still going to tell you, like, my purpose as of now, hopefully forever, is to try to, you know, bring peace, bring rationality, bring a discussion, bring people together, tell the truth. That's my purpose. I don't have an agenda. You know what I'm saying? I literally don't. So, but there's not a lot of people like me, and I don't own, you know, I'm myself, and even just doing this, they're trying to kick me off of YouTube revenue. Every time I put up a YouTube video, I don't get the money. They're kicking me off my out of my contracts that I've signed for 5 years, saying, oh, you know, your views don't align with us. Facebook is paying mainstream media to overtake me and say, oh no, Anomaly's doing better than them. Well, we got to give them millions of dollars in a prime spot on Facebook. Now they're going to do better. I mean, I've gotten like 200-300 million views with the whole system rigged against me, but it's not about me. The point is, these media sources, not only are some of them bought out by, you know, foreign countries like China, or foreign billionaires from China and foreign billionaires from Saudi Arabia and all over the place, there's a huge agenda and there's big money behind most news organizations. But the point of this, before I get on a huge tangent, the point of this is to say, I just don't agree with the Russian narrative. I don't think President Trump needs to start a war with Russia. I don't think we need to attack Russia or cancel relations with Russia just off the fact that 1 or 2 people or multiple organizations that have shown no real proof for their claims right now are saying that Russia hacked, yet they're not talking about the multiple times Russia hacked our military, Russia hacked our U.S. contractors, Russia hacked the FDIC. Russia literally hacked us, and U.S. officials covered up for it, according to CNN. I'm not saying this. It's not a conspiracy on YouTube. This is CNN saying, yeah, China hacked us and we covered up. Oh well, go back to sleep. Go follow the people, because we don't like Trump and we told you not to like Trump, and you know, Russia did 1/50th of this, and that's the whole thing with everything with Trump. That's why I can't get behind it. It's like everything that they accuse Trump of doing, they've done 50 times as much. Everything. Ooh, Trump put kids in cages. Oh, well, we found out the cages came from 2014, so the cages were implemented under the Obama administration. All of these laws were passed by Democrats or a few old Republicans, and any of the child separation laws were put into place so kids weren't getting smuggled and trafficked across the border. But it's President Trump's fault. And then there's Washington Post reports that say that Obama put kids in the hands of human traffickers. I didn't make this up. This is in the Washington Post. They published it in 2016. No one cared about it. So it's like everything that they say Trump does or that Russia does, it doesn't add up. Show me the Carfax. They don't add up. None of their narrative really works. And all of this stuff that I just told you, you're not going to be able to find 1/20th as much of media infiltration as there is of China is literally buying up Hollywood. They're buying up some of the biggest Hollywood companies, billions upon tens of billions of dollars in United States assets owned by Chinese billionaires, which is fine. But then don't go complaining, writing an article, CNN, oh my God, Russian bots started the walk away movement because 70 people from Russia used the hashtag on July 2nd. Whoa, oh my goodness, wow. 70 people from Russia used a hashtag that hundreds of thousands of people are using? Oh no, shut down Twitter, quick. You gotta shadow ban all the conservatives. Oh my God, he put up an OK symbol. It's a white power symbol. There's racists everywhere. Even if he's black, he's a black white supremacist. Ah! It's like nothing they say makes sense. I don't even remotely understand how they're convincing people with these, oh no, trust me, millions of people walking away from the Democratic Party, they're just influenced by Russian propaganda. No, dummy, Russia's not taking over. Russia's not infiltrating our media. China is, and they're not doing it in secret. They're doing it right out in the open. They're saying, I own your movies. Go to the movie, dum-dum. That's why people go to the movies and they say, oh, wow, do you think that could happen in real life? And I'm like, yeah, it did happen in real life. That's why they made the movie. And people are like, trapped. That's a brainwashing. I don't watch movies, and I'm not here to virtue signal and be holier than thou. I'm just letting you know a little bit about myself. I don't like movies. I see the brainwash and the propaganda. I don't like television. I don't even watch television. When I watch television, I feel like I just ate like 15 loaves of bread covered in butter and just like, you know, pure like palm oil or something, where like I don't feel good because I could see the propaganda. I mean, it's just like right in front of your face. It's the same with movies. They're crafting your mind to think a certain way. When you watch television, listen to the news, listen to music, they're literally crafting the way you think. And people are such followers. That's why you can go to like a concert of some guy who's literally saying smoke crack and kill yourself, and there's 100 people in the audience like, yeah, smoke crack and kill myself. And then you're like, hey, I hate Trump. I'm like, why do you hate Trump when you're talking about smoking crack and doing pills and killing yourself? Which is fine. You're allowed to do that and jam out to that music. But if that's who you idolize, maybe you're not fit to be the United States president. I don't know. You do that. You jump around and talk about eating pills, and then we'll let Donald Trump be president. You know, everybody's got a role, and maybe that's not your role. The point I'm getting at is, I mean, the brainwashing is very, very clear. And I don't know, I don't care who's doing it, whether it be, you know, our own government trying to brainwash us, whether it be the Republicans trying to brainwash us, or the Democrats, or China, or Russia. I have a real strange idea. How about we just intake the information and then we say it's right or wrong? If China says to drink water, I'm still going to drink water. I'm not going to not drink water because China told me to drink water. That's how you become literally, you know, put your mind in an insane asylum, is when you start trying to do backflips because Trump said it. Oh my God, Putin told the truth. Oh no, how dare Trump agree with Putin because Putin told the truth and we lied, but you got to believe me. No, why don't you just tell the truth? I don't care if Putin says it. I don't care if Kim Jong-un says it. I don't care if Trump says it. I don't care if Louis Farrakhan says it. I don't care if, you know, the worst person in history comes out of his grave and screams at the top of his lungs, I like to drink water. I'm not going to not like to drink water because they said it. I know what the truth is. I don't care if it's a white supremacist. Oh my God, you agree with a white supremacist on drinking water. You must be a white supremacist or a black supremacist. No, it's just, let's go issue by issue. Some people who are not good people are going to be right about certain topics, whether you like them or not, whether it's Trump or someone else. So it's like, overall, who cares who's saying what? I get it. China's buying up all the media. Russia's barely doing anything. And the media wants everybody to think that Russia's doing everything because they already wanted to start a war with Russia and they want to push their agenda. You know, they never wanted Trump to win. They wanted to control foreign, you know, what we do when it comes to foreign policy. And now they don't have control, so they have the media and they're trying to use that to control Trump. I get it. I get the whole puzzle. You know, it's been fun. It's been cute for 2 years, but it's getting a little tiresome, to be honest. A lot of people are waking up. They're not Russian bots. And overall, that's just my plea to people is critically think about it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying Russia's not hacking. I'm not saying China's not hacking. I'm not saying China's bad. I'm not saying Russia isn't bad. But what I'm saying is you look like a complete goofball and you look hysterically unintelligent when you're screaming and panting and heaving about treason and Trump needs to be taken out of office because he had a meeting with Putin. And then you see pictures of Bill Clinton with Putin and Hillary Clinton with Putin and Trump with, or, you know, Chuck Schumer with Putin and Jill Stein with Putin. And everyone talks to Putin because Putin's a foreign leader that everyone talks to and has dinner with and we've had good relations with for 25 years, so it's not a big deal. And then you see multiple articles about how China's hacking our military and China's stealing our military designs and China's stealing like sensitive submarine information and China's hacking the FDIC and the US is covering up for it. And you try to match that with any hysterical claim that they said about Russia and it just doesn't add up. I don't care if China's saying it, Russia's saying it, Trump's saying it, who's saying it, you know, God himself came down and said it, or Satan rose up from the underworld and said it. I mean, the truth is the truth, and the truth is China is infiltrating our media 20 times as much as Russia, and China seems to be hacking the United States government 10 times as much as Russia, but you hear about it 0% from Trump, from the media, from the politicians, from the intelligence communities, from the late night hosts, from the celebrities who are getting direct orders to say these things. And the reason is because they don't care about the truth. They don't care about objectivity. They're never going to be able to, you know, refute what I'm saying right now because it's basically irrefutable. I'm not saying in a fascist way like, oh, you can't disagree with me or you're a Nazi. I'm not saying like an SJW's fascist. I'm just saying it's irrefutable because I've read every single article about Russia. I've seen it. I've seen it all. And it doesn't add up to what I just said. It just doesn't. I would love to see someone refute it, but usually they just run away or, you know, post a picture of like a cop or something and says, oh, we gotta yell. And then people are like, oh my God, I hate America. So, you know, they got the whole like little circus and, you know, got them on the merry-go-round. So circle, circle, circle. But overall, I'm just saying, if you want to talk about hacking, you want to talk about foreign influence in media, no one, I mean, even scratches the surface of what China and Saudi Arabia do as far as our tech companies and media, but nobody wants to talk about it. And I refuse to bow down, like even Trump himself or people trying to make Tucker Carlson or some left-leaning people or whatever. I refuse to bow down and pretend like I agree with this totally skewed narrative that doesn't add up. I see no evidence. I see no proof. I see somebody who gave their servers to an independent investigator instead of giving them to law enforcement officials, which doesn't make sense to me. I'm seeing a lot of hysteria. I've seen 2 years of fake articles that were retracted or exaggerated about Facebook, how they infiltrated Facebook, and all I see is a totalitarianism push to suck up all our media and to silence any dissenters. And what is interesting is this is what communist China is doing in their own country. So if they're buying up our media, the question that any sane person would ask is, are they going to try to do that here? If we let a communist country come and buy up all our media, what's going to stop them from turning the United States into communist? What's going to stop them from buying, and then turning on the United States? If Russia was doing that, I'd say keep an eye on it. But it's not Russia, it's China, and nobody cares. And maybe that has something to do with the communist slow roll that's coming in. You have Twitter and Teen Vogue literally promoting communism. You have the Democratic Party and Democratic Party, you know, candidates literally promoting full-on socialism, and it's all good. Democratic socialism, it's just socialism. Socialism 99% of the time leads to communism or some sort of failed economy that either goes back right-wing or collapses like Venezuela into pure starvation. Never has worked once in modern history / ever in the history of history. And even Democratic Socialist Cornel West, he was on Tucker Carlson the other day, he even admitted that socialism's literally never worked. But not only are they slow-rolling socialism to the United States public, but they're literally just full-out outing communism, saying communism's cool. Haha, I got Piers Morgan because I told him I'm a communist. And Teen Vogue thinks they're like the Britney Spears of our generation. I'm just curious. This is just my own curiosity. Is that, you know, in relation to the fact that China's buying up all our media, hacking us, and nobody seems to talk about it? Or is that just a coincidence of how, you know, a lot of United States citizens have essentially become useful idiots, so tangled in propaganda and brainwashing and outrage and emotional, you know, ridiculousness, I don't even know another word to say with it, that they have literally, they don't know up from down, left from right, and they think communism's cool. I don't know if it's China, I don't know if it's Russia, I don't know if it's the US, I don't know who it is, but I'm just trying to bring a little bit of sanity and a little bit of objectivity, because once again, to wrap it up, China, according to Business Insider, Washington Post, CNN, these are mainstream articles. They're buying up AMC. They control over 8,830 movie screens in the United States and probably more. That's from 2016. They're buying up Dick Clark Productions, Legendary Pictures, which has done the latest Jurassic Park movies, Superman, Batman, 300, Hangover, the list goes on. They're buying up our box office, our Hollywood industry, movie industry. Also, China's movie industry is set to take over the United States in 2020. So they're not only buying up our media, but their media is going to surpass our media. Sorry, I'm a little tired today. And they hacked us multiple times and nobody seems to care. So if everybody's going to screech and scream, whether it be celebrity or politician, I'm going to be here with, thousands less followers and thousands less viewers because I'm not getting millions of dollars. And every time that I do something, they knock me down and steal my money. And then they take the money that they stole from me and just give it all to Facebook and Twitter and Google and CNN and BuzzFeed. And here you go. You guys need billions of more dollars because we already rigged the algorithm in your favor. Don't worry, we shadow banned them. We made sure that no one can see their posts. We rigged the algorithm in your favor so your videos come up first. But that's not enough. You're still losing to Anomaly and all his friends. So we're going to give you millions of dollars on top of that and give you a featured page so thousands of people see you. You can do that, but the truth will conquer. Trump's winning. Populism is rising everywhere. Communism is failing. Liberal democracy, aka, global communism, is falling flat on its face. Billionaire investors are crying in the New York Times because they lost billions of dollars betting on failed liberal democracy all over the world and nobody wants it. Everybody's awake. So you can continue stealing my money and blocking my posts and, giving millions of dollars to mainstream media outlets because most people know the truth. And the truth is Russia is clearly, unless you have any other mind-blowing information to share, I've listened to the screeching and screaming for the last 2 years and everything that you've screamed and screeched about doesn't even add up to like 1/20th of what I just explained that China's doing, and no one cares. Thank you guys for joining. God bless you. God bless America. God bless your family. God bless the world. Remember, fun fact of the day, China owns every single panda in the United States. If not every single panda, they own them, and when they lease them, they make people sign an agreement that China still owns it, and they own all the offspring. Fun panda facts with Anomaly. Thank you guys. Have a good weekend. If it's Friday, if it's Thursday, don't have a good weekend until tomorrow. I'm out late cast today. Sorry, I got a light. I don't know if I could do this. It's like blinding me and it's brainwashing me. It's a Russian light. I got to switch it out for a Chinese one. But I'll be back and, I got a new setup for the green screen and stuff. Thank you guys for supporting. I'm going to post my links in the description if you'd like to support or sign up to the free email list. Thank you.